We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino-American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino-American life.
Hello, welcome to Makilala. My name is Cristina Pastor. Queens was my family's first home in New York City. We lived in a modest apartment on Van Horn. My daughter went to school at Ascension. We shopped at Queens Center Mall. And my family weekends were spent having lunch at Ihawan or Crystals. Although we moved to New Jersey after 3 years, Queens will always have a special place in our hearts. When we learned that there is now a little Manila Avenue on Roosevelt and 70th, our family was among those who received the news with excitement. Today, Makilala is pleased to meet four of the people who made it happen. Longtime resident Elizabeth Diente and her daughter Xenia Diente, Dennis Nepomuceno, and Bong Boonggaling. Together with community leaders, residents, business owners, volunteers, local officials, they worked passionately and assiduously to make sure we got our name up there. On behalf of my co-hosts, Rachelle Ocampo and Jen Fuhrer, welcome to Makilala. Welcome, everyone. Congratulations to all of you for getting it done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations for getting it done. Let me ask all of you, how does it feel when you walk past the Little Manila street sign? Does it give you a sense of ethnic pride? Do you get emotional? Lola Beth, would you like to start?
I get emotional, of course, because when I was new here, there was nothing, just not even a restaurant, not even a store. We have to ride the subway, go to 42nd Street to buy some Filipino goods from an American person there who is a trader, an importer.
So when you walk past the street sign po, what was
When
your
I saw
feeling?
the sign, I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm proud as a Filipino." Before they
Of course.
speak to me in Spanish, "Hola" or "Buenos dias." Now I said, "Mabuhay, magandang umaga." So I'm Filipino. That's the first thing I have to tell them. And I was
That's
born
right.
in Manila. I was born
Xenia, Xenia, what are your thoughts when you pass by the Little Manila sign?
Pride, and how it's finally a public acknowledgement that Filipinos have had businesses there since the 1970s.
Mm-hmm. And Dennis?
Yeah, hi.
Dennis?
Every morning I see that sign, especially it's located on 70th Street and Roosevelt, where Kusina Pinoy Bistro is located. So every morning I
that's
see it,
right.
and I am so proud to say that we have that sign. And actually, I'm encouraging every Filipino that if you can say that, oh, I'm going to Chinatown today, or I'm going to Little Italy, or I'm going to Korean town.
Yeah.
Usually, what I can say now, if they will ask us where's Kusina Pinoy Bistro or where you're going, we usually tell them we're going to Little Manila, which I'm very
That's
proud
good.
to say.
Yeah. What
Because
about you, Bong? You want to
I
add something?
think the same thing as Dennis. Actually, I feel really proud that at least we have now a spot, like we could say, like we have a little dot in the map that it says Little Manila, and we have a restaurant like right at the corner. And I every time people come by to our restaurant, instead of telling them welcome to Kusina, now we're telling them welcome to Little Manila.
yeah,
So
exactly.
at least
Okay.
we're promoting the place as well.
That's right. Jen, you have a question?
It just gave me goosebumps. I mean,
Mhm.
um, hearing from you guys directly, I mean, reading about it, it's like, okay, well, what's the big deal of having a sign that says Little Manila? Um, I mean, are there a lot of Filipinos in Queens who I mean, I don't know what the statistics of how many Filipinos are there, and does everybody take pride now that they have a little Manila Avenue? I mean, Rochelle, you live in Queens now, right? So, I mean, you used to be from Long Island, I
Oh, that's right.
think. So, is it like, I mean, but you're so involved in the Filipino community. Is it a big deal to have an avenue named
It,
after Filipino?
no, it's absolutely a huge deal. I feel like that this is our moment, that we should just keep going. Why not have not just one sign, but bigger signs, and more opportunity for small businesses to come and join Little Manila. I mean, I feel like that this is a time for us to flourish and keep up with the movement. I feel like that what these small businesses have done, the elected officials, the organizers, the community leaders, this is just the beginning. I hope that this can help motivate others to really not just take pride, but motivation to keep going. Maybe, hopefully, have a community center, a brick and mortar community center in Little Manila.
In one of those places. Let me ask Xenia. Xenia, what was the naming process like? Like, I think you have to collect something like 3,000 signatures. And what happened after that?
I guess a little background behind that is Jacqueline Reyes and myself, who was not able to join today. We were part of this artist residency through the Laundromat, where we were hoping to make a Bayanihan Public Arts Festival. And the goal was to commission 5 artists, and each would collaborate with one local business. Jacqueline happened to be the artist who collaborated with formerly Crystals, which is now Amazing Grace, to make a mural on the side of Amazing Grace restaurant on 69th and Roosevelt Avenue. And when she, was in the depth of COVID, when we were doing some mutual aid, and then around early April or early May, Jacqueline and I, and as well as others from Amazing Grace, were painting the mural for the Mubuhay mural. And at the June 12 of 2020, we had an unveiling ceremony dedicated to the healthcare workers, particularly Filipinos, because Filipino healthcare workers were so pivotal, are so pivotal to healthcare. And at that event, we had former council member Jimmy Van Bramer attend that event, and he saw that we had a little plastic sign hanging on the microphone saying Little Manila. And when he noticed that, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he noticed it, and he said his commitment to help make it happen. And so from there, we switched from our arts hat to civics hat to help make this petition. And there wasn't any specific instructions for the street co-naming petition. So, but we saw amongst many other community boards, like some kind of standards, and some of those civic standards were obtain up to 150 signatures of local residents, businesses or residents from the zip code 11377. And with Jacqueline's hat of like, how can we civically do this when we still needed to be socially distant, and we don't want to share even a pen with people. We did it both ways. We made spent a day in Little Manila or near the businesses, canvassing or going to every apartment and house or business in the 113, or particularly in the concentration where the businesses are.
Mm-hmm.
And we quickly obtained signatures, 150.
150.
In a matter of a few hours, but we also made the online petition, which in a matter of weeks garnered several thousand people. And the online petition really is compelling to me, because if you see it not only do you have people from the zip code 11377, but you have people from broader Queens, from the larger New York City, from all of United States, and from 11
Exciting.
countries around
Yeah.
the world, just showing
Oh,
Filipinos
really?
from 11 different countries are
Yeah.
paying attention to what's happening here in New York City, and how vibrant our global connection is. So it's both hyper local and international. So that was
Rochelle, you have a question?
Yeah, no, I think that is a beautiful story of how you're able to how one project led to another, even though that wasn't the full intention, but it really just shows how important visuals are. Like having that mural, having that little plastic little manila sign, it
Yeah.
made things into reality. So my question is, like when you were organizing this, were there other organizations involved? Because this is like a historic piece of part of the movement. How were you able to collaborate and bring people together?
So yeah, if I could try to remember or recollect from June 2020, starting July 2020, we put out a call or request for anybody and everybody and organizations to participate. And we had a series of Zoom calls, but people show up, but also there was some Zoom fatigue. Um, and when we were doing that back in July, particularly groups like Topaz Arts, who's been an arts group here in Woodside for over 20 years, wrote a letter of support. Philam School for New York, New Jersey wrote a letter of support. NAFCON, National Alliance for Filipino Concerns Northeast Chapter, participated. Yes, as well as Steve Raga, and many other individuals. But then, we're still in COVID. Jacqueline took the lead of submitting the application, or the 150 signatures to our former council member, and upon submission, things were backlogged because of COVID. And
Because of COVID. I have to ask Lola Beth. Lola Beth, being the old timer in Queens, are we the biggest ethnic group in Queens? Are Filipinos the biggest?
I saw it really grow. I've been in Queens since 1970. So over the years, about 50 years now, it really grow.
Are we
And
now the top? Are we now the biggest? Or are we second, maybe?
I see a lot of Filipinos, but looks like looking around more, I see more signs and characters. I don't know if they are Chinese or Korean. I said, I wish I will see more kabayan, kababayan, ihawan, filan in those signs.
That's
But
right. Maybe Xenia would know. Xenia, would you know the numbers? What is our population in Queens?
I just saw this morning, at least for New York City, it's increased to almost 90,000 in all of New York City. And if the
90,000 Filipinos.
statistics are correct, then more than half, or like 52% of all Filipinos live in Queens. So
Oh,
can't do the math, but 52%,
yeah.
89,000.
That's not bad. Yeah.
So I'm
Jen?
still majority.
It's interesting to hear that Filipinos started with art, and then we highlighted the nurses, and COVID and everything is still accomplished this big historic win. My question is to Dennis and to Bong, since you have a restaurant. I mean, the past few months, or was it last year, there's also an increase in Asian hate or Asian violence. So usually when one ethnicity flourish, other ethnicity might feel like they're being pushed aside and might get a little jealous. I mean, in the restaurant where people talk, do they feel like they're scared that maybe this will get more attention to us and we don't want to be more attention to us? So What do you think?
I don't think there is Asian hate when it comes to changing the name into or putting the name Little Manila there. People should be more understanding that Filipinos that we exist and they have to accept fact that we're good people. And I don't think that hate crime or Asian hate crime happens within the area of Queens as of this time. When we promote a place, we usually tell them that if you will go to Little Manila, it's a safe place to go. It's a place where every Filipino can go, they can shop, they can eat. And for others, we have a lot of customers who are not Filipinos. I don't think they are biased about it, and they even enjoy coming to the restaurant.
Has Dennis, as a follow up, has business been better since we had that name?
Better in a way, yes, because Filipinos they love to take pictures.
I know,
And
right?
now that is one. It's becoming a little bit of a tourist spot for Filipinos. They
Yeah,
love to snap a picture there. Just like the Mabuhay sign, they go
yeah.
there. If you're not really from Queens, you're visiting from other place, they snap a picture
That,
of.
that should be good for your restaurant, right?
Exactly right. More traffic, more people, more good, much better for the business.
That's right.
And we're
Rochelle?
very thankful for that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking about how this project can help motivate other groups to start. What was the biggest challenge for you, Xenia, when you were doing this, other than COVID, because we know that COVID has affected our lives in so many ways? Um, what, yeah, what has been the biggest challenge during this process so we could learn from it and hopefully have more projects like this?
I guess I guess, at least for me as a second generation Filipino American, learning more about the Bayanihan spirit and making a bigger tent and how to get more voices involved. Like, I am an arts administrator, and that is something I think about all the time is uh, inclusiveness and accessibility. And if and and as you could see things play out, um, uh, it's challenging. And if and when we do more public and civically engaged work, how do we get our diverse Filipino points of view? How can we talk together for collective goals?
Mm-hmm. Lola Beth, I think you have a nice story for us about what Queens was like when you first arrived there in the 1970s, and how much has it changed over the years?
Yeah, about the time when Xenia was born, we were told that there is a Filipino store that will be putting up in Roosevelt Avenue. It took us time to find it, but when we got there, I had another friend with me, which is from the same province as the owner, Ida, Zenaida. And we just socialized in the beginning, and then when fi- we actually we were one of the first customer of
Oh,
Phil,
wow.
and they were setting it up, and it's actually a family venture for them. Most of her workers there were relatives, and that was the start when I said, "Oh, this you advance our presence in this area." And it took a while, took 50 years, but it's getting
Is
there.
this is this the film store? The film store
Radio,
by the family from Batangas, I think.
yes, they are from Batangas,
Okay.
and
And then the other stores started coming, the restaurants, the
it's coming.
professional offices.
I think it's coming very slow. There should be a bigger one. Actually, I think you're getting there. This your generation will get there really, really, oh, faster than it started. started slow. But you know,
That's
Filipinos
right.
like that. It starts slow but sure. And but
Uh,
the best the best what do you call this proverbs, best saying from the Filipinos is that ang hindi lumingon sa kanyang pinanggalingan ay hindi makakarating sa kanyang paroroonan. You know that? If you didn't,
yeah, I think we all heard that from our parents.
yeah, if you don't look back where you came from, you
Yeah.
really have a difficult time finding your destiny. So,
You were, at the time, you were a young nurse, probably. You were working as a nurse, right?
yeah.
That's right. Jen, you have a question?
Yeah, let's say a question for everyone who's from Queens. So if you have to create an ad or a one phrase so that you could entice people to visit Little Manila, what would that be? So who wants to take that? Like
That
watch
includes you,
somebody
Rochelle.
from New Jersey
Yeah, it's a good
go to
one.
Little Manila. Go ahead. Let's start with who wants to start? Rochelle?
That's a difficult question.
That's a bit on the spot. Like, what am I gonna say?
On the spot, Bong or Dennis?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. What do you think?
Kain na tayo.
Kain na, exactly. Kain na tayo. The most favorite
Yeah.
Filipino, kain na tayo.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
mangan tayo because it's actually from Pampanga, and most people are a lot of people there are like from Pampanga. So maybe mangan na. What's that?
Mangan tayo.
Or
Oh,
you can
yeah.
say, magsaya sa Little Manila.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Where
Magkaya sa
you
Little
will
Manila.
enjoy
Yeah.
from eating, whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
it's there, send money. There's nightlife now in Little Manila.
Do you say
A lot
nightlife?
of restaurants.
How do you
Dennis,
say
do you say nightlife?
Nightlife, yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Most of the
I think
restaurants.
they meant more karaoke bars, right?
Oh,
Yeah, actually, Kusina started at all. We've been doing like live
Karaoke for a long
entertainment
time.
from Tuesday to
Ah.
Sunday. We
So
really
it's
have
like
a
it's
band.
like it's more fun in Little Manila.
Yeah,
Something
it's
Exactly
more, yeah,
right.
it's more
Yes,
fun in Little Manila. That's a very good
That's a
one.
good one.
Yeah. Just like in the Philippines now, it's more fun in Little Manila.
Exactly right. It's more fun than
Yeah.
That's right. Rochelle, what is your suggestion?
No, I was just trying to think of like how we could bring more people to Little Manila, and that's it. I one thing that reminded me of is whenever I would see a Filipino establishment and they have the sign that says like Tuloy po kayo,
Ano po kayo?
Yeah.
like in the front.
Come in, please enter or something, right?
Yeah, and it makes me feel like, oh, okay, that they're Filipino. Like
it's
it's
welcome, right? To live
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, that's right.
it's like a
That's
welcome
right.
sign, and I feel like that's what Little Manila is. It's welcoming Filipinos and anyone who wants to eat, drink, and enjoy Filipino
Mhm.
culture.
Also, can I add something?
Sure.
Also,
Dennis.
shout out to Maine Anderson, who's the head of administrator of Pinoys of
Pinoys of New York.
New York. What she does is, I think this summer she's thinking she did it before, which is a street fair, promoting every Filipino food, their street food, arts and craft of Filipinos. She did it before, and actually we're talking to her, encouraging her more to do that because it's not only promoting whatever we have in the Philippines, mga pagkain, kakanin, those kind of things, but it also create jobs and business for Filipinos. Especially we have those people are selling barbecue, kakanin on the street.
Yeah.
They have whatever they can sell on the street. They did that before and it was very successful. And for us restaurant owners, it created a lot of foot traffic and the sale was really excellent that day.
So let me ask everyone: does having a Little Manila Avenue make us closer as a community? Xenia?
It gives us something to work collectively together to support and preserve.
Mm-hmm. Lola Beth?
Looks like what we're looking for is solidarity and cohesiveness among the Filipinos here in Queens, and that way, I think once they see also the sense of belongingness of
Yeah,
our Filipino group, they
we need to
usually
work on that, right?
the buhay is a greeting and a farewell, but it's a greeting mostly. And I see people taking pictures in front of them. I was so
Yeah,
really, really proud to
it's
see
it's
that
a prideful moment. Yeah, Dennis, do you
I,
think having Little Manila makes us closer as a community?
yes,
Oh,
yes. It
I love
only
your optimism.
Yes, I'm very proud of it actually. Every time you ask me where am I, I'm in Little Manila. Where I'm going to Little Manila.
Okay.
It makes me so proud as a Filipino that hey, we have our small place there, and that's Little Manila.
Bong, you want to add?
Yes, definitely. We feel proud, like especially so, like if you walk around that little Manila area, you see tons of Filipinos. Basically, you feel like you're home. Basically, you feel
Very
like
good.
in Quiapo, and you're like, like you're in the Philippines.
So if I take an Uber from Manhattan and I say, take me to Little Manila, will he know where to go?
Probably they have an idea, but not yet.
Maybe not at this time.
Not at this time. That's why we keep on
Without
saying
mentioning Roosevelt and 70th.
yeah, that's why we're
Yes.
practicing it. Always say we're going to Little Manila, Little Manila, Little Manila, so that
Oh
everybody
my
will get
God.
used to it.
I think, thank you so much. I think we're running out of time. Little Manila Avenue, it's a small stretch. It's actually just a corner, but it's our own little village. It's in our name. It's where we made our first home, where we raised a family, where we thrived, where we buy our food, where we speak our language, hopefully without anybody telling us, go back to your own country. It's a home
Yes.
away from
Yeah,
home.
I know.
On behalf of Jan and Rachelle, thank you so much, Xenia, Lola Beth, Dennis, and Bong, for gracing our show and sharing the story of how Little Manila and Queens came to be. We look forward to what's next, Xenia. And to our viewers out there, thanks for watching.